Let me share this interview whereby Paul OSullivan was interviewed by Dr. Njengoba lapho ku-Power FM. As our Paul OSullivan, they are chance takers. This guy thinks that he can argue with a PhD graduate or a PhD holder. Meanwhile, he's a fly-by-night alumni. Can you imagine? Let me share this interview with you guys. This interview didn't end very well. I'm telling you, listen to the end.
Just explain to you
that
if you're going to ask me questions, I said this to the ad hoc committee, if you're going to ask me questions and then not let me finish answering the question, it means that you're not creating an opportunity for me to give the correct version of events.
No,
So,
let me
finish,
push
please. You know
light
what?
where in law,
I'm going to ask
Mr.
you
OSullivan,
to let me
where
finish,
in law
because if
is
you're not
light
going to
lifestyle
let me finish,
is
we are
a light
wasting our
lifestyle
time
audit
talking
based
to you.
in any where
I had to do a thorough advisor, Bajani Chowki, to
I'm not interrupting you. You still have
ask me a question. It would be appropriate to let me finish answering.
I'm not interrupting you. I want you to help us.
I sat through 20 hours of interrogation
at
the ad hoc committee on Parliament. Now, the reality of the situation is I was asked in late 2021 and early 2022 by the President's advisor, Bajani Chowki, to investigate and determine if there were any issues that may be problematic if those individuals. That was done in confidence. Now, when it's brought up at the ad hoc committee, it's no longer in confidence. And by the way, the report that we produced was not produced for being published. It was produced privately. And if a person had to do a thorough lifestyle audit, it would require, in terms of the framework, for that person to cooperate with the lifestyle audit. But a lightweight, let me finish, please.
Yeah, no,
you know what?
I have 10 minutes left.
Let me just explain to you that if you're going to ask me questions, I said this to the ad hoc committee, if you're going to ask me questions and then not let me finish answering the question, it means that you're not creating an opportunity for me to give the correct version of events.
No,
So,
let me
finish,
push
please.
light where in law, Mr. OSullivan, where in law is light lifestyle is a light lifestyle audit based in any law? That's the question.
What I wanted to
point me to a law that
what I need to explain to you is that we didn't just do a lifestyle audit.
You didn't do a lifestyle audit. You did a light lifestyle audit. It's not based in any law
of the individuals concerned. We also looked at any adverse media articles concerning the individuals, and we produced reports. Now, we haven't published those reports, and the reason we haven't published those reports is because it was done private and confidential. And what you're trying to now suggest is, and it's quite clear that Bajani Chowki has now done a complete U-turn. If the ad hoc committee ask me to provide the evidence, I will provide the evidence that Bajani Chowki requested me to do this for the president. And we did it, and we didn't charge a cent for doing it, and spent many hours doing the research on the individuals in question. And we can prove that beyond reasonable doubt. And as far as the framework is concerned, that is all set out in the report we provide.
All right. I understand, because what this means substantially is that you didn't conduct a lifestyle audit. And in your words, you conducted a light lifestyle audit that has its own framework, which is in the report, not the lifestyle audit based in law, as everybody understands it. This is the clarity that has not come out up to this point, because on many occasions you have said that you did a lifestyle audit, and this lifestyle
Well, you
audit
see-
was and all of us assumed, since it's a lifestyle audit, the terminology
Okay,
has
so-
weight in law, and there is a framework set out in law which requires participation of individuals because it's invasive.
Yeah, well, as I've explained, and,
Yeah.
you know, if I'd have known we were going to spend 40 minutes discussing a lifestyle
We
audit,
actually spent
I
10
would-
minutes.
I would-
It's just been
I
10
would-
minutes, Mr.
I would have
O'Sullivan.
said, well, we've been doing this since half past.
No,
but if I'd have known we were
since-
going to spend all
since-
this time discussing
Since
a
40,
lifestyle
I
audit,
did
would
say
have
we are
sent-
left with
I
20
would have
minutes
sent
when
you
we
some
started.
dockets. I
Let me
would have
move
sent
to
you
a
some
different.
documents in
I
advance.
accept. I accept
And
the
those
explanation.
documents in advance would have enabled you
I accept
to
the
understand
explanation.
exactly what a lifestyle audit is. Now,
Yeah.
when you are in communication with somebody,
Uh-huh.
your failure to use the word light is that make me a bad person? You know, the
No,
reality
it
of
doesn't
the
make you a
situation-
bad person.
the-
I
the
think what it
reality of the
does,
the
what
reality of
what
the
is what it
situation
does,
is-
Mr. O'Sullivan, is
No, I have a
all
really big
along
problem
we
here
have
because
assumed.
what's happening. I'm trying
All
to
along
answer
we have
you,
assumed
and
you
then keep
conducted
cutting
lifestyle
in and
audits.
interrupting
You
me.
are in
So
radio
you
today
need to
saying
explain
you
to me
didn't
whether you
conduct
want to-
lifestyle
whether you want
audits,
me to
which have a
answer you, or
framework
whether
in
you
law.
want me to just the two of us talking at the
Okay.
same time.
I
Because
do want to
if
move
we're
to a
going
different
spend
subject that
all of
is
this
going to
time
also
talking
help
together at the
us.
same time, what benefit is that to the
I
the
think we have
listeners?
exhausted the lifestyle audit. How about we move to a different subject of your testimony?
I think that would be a good idea.
Oh,
because
excellent.
It's clear
So,
to me that you
I do
don't
want to ask
understand
about
how these things work.
I do want to ask about what seemed to occupy, all of us saw it, the members of parliament about your credibility, which boggles me, because if they thought you're not a credible witness, they shouldn't have invited you. But nonetheless, they did, and they put questions. I do have only one. In terms of South Africa's law, particularly as it relates to witnesses appearing in parliament, one can't obstruct witnesses. The law actually uses the word, the Powers and Privileges Act actually uses the word obstruct. You cannot obstruct a person that is providing evidence in front of the ad hoc committee, or you are unable, as it were, which would be read as an intimidation. It seems to me, when you admitted that you sent Nkabinde a text during his testimony, you were violating this specific law of trying to influence what he was saying at that moment to the committee. Would you agree that this is possibly not only illegal, but would have legitimately invited those members of parliament to doubt your credibility?
No, I won't agree, because I didn't know he was giving evidence at the time. Somebody sent me a screenshot of allegations that were being published online by him. It was 8 o'clock in the evening. I assumed that they had finished with all their, their doings. And I sent him a message informing him that he's a lying crook and he belongs in prison, and that it's an offense to testify under oath and lie. It's called perjury. So at the end of the day, that may not look good, but it's a reality. The problem is the ad hoc committee invite these criminals to come and give evidence, give them an easy ride. And then when a person who's identified these people as being criminals many, many years ago comes along, my credibility is attacked by certain members, select members of the committee. And those select members of the committee, I am saying, are in cahoots with the criminals in the criminal justice system who are involved in what I describe as state capture Mark III.
Okay.
So that is the problem that we have.
Okay.
You have a committee which is biased.
Okay. Final question is, part of what they put to you are the circumstances in which you took some admission to guilt over a sexual offense act. What were the circumstances of that accusation that was made to you? Because what is flying around is that you were accused by an underage woman to have made undue sexual advances to them, and to the effect that they were underage, is that at the time they were 16 years old. Is this true that a woman who was 16 years old at the time accused you of sexual advances that were unwanted?
You know, this is absolute rubbish, and I'm absolutely shocked. I can't remember which member it was that made that allegation, but at the time, I made it clear that that was fabricated and absolute rubbish. And if that member wants to come forward, I'll have a debate with him, and he must give the name and date and time and place and everything where these allegations took place. And it's complete lie, and it's been done only to
discredit
maliciously and dishonestly defame me and destroy my credibility. I am not in the business of making sexual advances, not only to children, but not to anybody. I'm happily married, and I've got no wish, desire, or intention to be involved with anything of that nature.
What admission of a fine did you pay?
Let me finish, please. You know,
I have 5 minutes left. Remember me, I'm on radio.
What I don't like doing is for people to make allegations, false, dishonest, and defamatory allegations, and having made these false, dishonest, and defamatory allegations, to then prevent me. This is exactly what the committee were doing, and it's exactly what you're doing now. You cannot sit there.
But Mr. O'Sullivan, what fine? You said you paid an admission of 500, which was an admission of guilt.
No.
What were the circumstances of that admission?
I said nothing of the kind. You are completely mixing up what was said.
Okay.
And I think you're completely mixing up what was said.
Okay, please correct the record then.
You yourself are being malicious. You need to go back.
But what admission of guilt did you pay? What admission of guilt did you pay?
Play the tape again and listen to what was said instead of siding with criminals.
No, it's a question. I'm not siding with them.
What you've done this morning is you've destroyed your own credibility, and you've destroyed the credibility of Power FM.
Are you going to explain what admission of guilt did you? What were the circumstances of the admission of guilt that you paid?
A better place for all
what admission of guilt circumstances did you ever? I'm not attacking you, Mr. O'Sullivan. When you feel the heat beneath your skin, you think you are being attacked. The question is simple. The question is simple. What were the circumstances of admission of guilt?
I think you need to go back and have some training.
But we are asking a simple question. What circumstances of admission of guilt? What were the circumstances of admission of guilt with regards to GBV case did you get involved in? That's the question. And that's why members of parliament were questioning your credibility, is that you said by your own admission there was a GBV case in which you did an admission of guilt, and then went on to compare it that you shouldn't have paid the 500 rands because it was like paying a traffic fine. This is a question. It's not an attack on you. And I'm saying to you, this is the reason a credibility of a witness could become a problem to members of parliament or to an investigatorial committee. If questions are defeating you, there's nothing I can do for you. You get me, Mr. O'Sullivan?
I don't think there's anything I can do.
There's no training that anybody needs
to go and get some training.
The last person in the room who's going to speak about training is you. You know that you have done even constitutional training when you did not have the proper qualifications. It's not the training that is in question. The question is, what were the circumstances? What were the circumstances in which you paid an admission of guilt fine on a GBV case? That's the question. You are unable to answer this. You claim that you are being accused or you are being attacked. It's not an attack. That's the question. You don't dilly-dally over it and bring people's training and the credibility of power. I think you don't like being questioned. That's the point.
And I would invite you never to bother contacting me again, because I don't.
Okay, that's fine. Bye-bye then. Thank you. It's 1100 hours, Bantwana Benkosi.